Hello everyone and welcome to Simplex Cuisine. My name is Harper, if you did not know, and today to celebrate St. Louis literally going down by just a few to 10 degrees, I am going to try to make for the first time in my life a red velvet cake with cream cheese icing. Now, I absolutely love red velvet cake. I think it's my favorite kind of cake out there, except for chocolate cake. I really like chocolate cake too. But I have had red velvet cakes almost every single one of my birthdays, thanks to my grandmother who makes absolutely amazing ones. With that being said, of course, for a lot of these cooking experiences videos, I'll be taking you guys along and showing you guys how I go throughout this recipe. I will be filling the ups and the downs, the successes and the failures, and at the end of the day, I'm going to see number one, does the, meal in question, aka right now, red velvet cake, look good? Does it taste good? And did I do it more or less justice? And of course also, is the recipe a good recipe? But that being said, let us begin. Okay, so in this bowl, we have our cake flour, our cocoa powder, let's see what else, there was more things than that, baking soda, and of course the salt. So I'm just gonna whisk this up really easily because this is gonna be, this is a humongous recipe in my opinion, and because it's gonna take forever, I decided to get all the pre-prep work done. I've also greased up the pans and whatnot. I just, again, didn't want to waste time doing that. I feel like, these videos are usually very long anyway. I don't want to waste you guys' time. So I kind of cut a lot of the corners to really just show you the action shots and whatnot, me actually doing stuff instead of just me prepping. But with that being said, I'm gonna say this is more or less done whisking up. You can probably see that you can see clumps, so maybe I should mix a little bit more. I'm gonna say that this is more or less done. There's a little bit of granules of the, not granules, I should say clumps of the cocoa powder left, but I'm gonna say it's okay. So with that being said, I'm also going to preheat the oven to 350. I almost forgot to do that. And then we'll go on and set up the mixer, my 30-year-old mixer, and begin the, wet part of the baking. Is that the right word? More or less, I'm gonna mix in the wet ingredients. That sounded weird when I said it before, so I'm gonna rephrase that. But more or less, we have the dry ingredients all ready to go. And yeah. Okay, so we are back with my incredibly old mixer. Now, it asks for a paddle attachment for this step, which I sadly do not have, mostly because this thing is literally older than I am. But we are going to use it just because I do not want to, mix this by hand. I realized that I'll have to, clean this out multiple times. So that's going to be absolutely horrifying to experience, but that is for future Harper's issue. Right now, present Harper is gonna live in bliss. So we're gonna toss in the butter. There we go. We're gonna just pour in all the sugar together. There we go. I'm just gonna let this go for a minute or so and more or less have this all mixed together. Okay, I'm gonna say that that's more or less what you have to do. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Honestly, I don't think this is gonna be a really hard dish. It's mostly just because I'm just really bad at baking usually. I have zero confidence in baking, and also it's gonna take forever. So that's my only freak out so far. But I think this is more or less, ready. The butter is combined with the sugar, and that's what they want. So with that being said, I am going to add in all the other ingredients. So give me 1 second. So we have canola oil, egg yolks, vanilla extract, and vinegar. Okay, and now we're going to just beat this up some more. And I think that is pretty good, so we're just going to do that. I'm just gonna do just mix around just to make sure everything, looks pretty good. It's a little clumpy, but I'm gonna say it's okay. The actual mixture isn't clumpy, it's just some pieces are clumpy. But I think it's gonna work out well. AKA, I'm too lazy to actually continue. Now I'm going to add in the dry ingredients with the buttermilk. Okay, so we have a little issue with the buttermilk. Now, I really try to get all the ingredients that they asked for, like really get them, you know, don't like cut any corners to ingredients. With that being said, I really did try to find buttermilk, but for some reason I couldn't find it anywhere, like in the stores that I go to. So I had to, let's say, improvise, and we're using a cup of half and half with some vinegar in it. Now, the thing said just milk. I don't know what milk means, so I got half and half because like it, you know, you could just buy like, you know, a cup of it at the store, so it might like mess up in that way. I want you guys to like know what's happening, but yeah, could not find buttermilk. Do not know if you're supposed to use like, you know, whole milk, skim milk, half and half, 2%, whatever for the milk for creating buttermilk, but we did create something and everything should be okay. I'm just going to alternate with, you know, putting in some of the dry mixture and then of course the buttermilk, quote unquote buttermilk. So I'm gonna actually start just like keeping the thing off when I put it in because I really don't want things to like, you know, fly in my face. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this looks really good. Everything just like feels very like silky and quite watery, but I think like that's supposed to be what it is, so I'm not gonna like freak out that much. There are a few clumps. I think it's just of the butter. It looks like you know, small little like just clumps of butter, and that's probably just because the butter was a little bit colder than it should have been, but like yeah, after that everything else looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna say, you know, good job, Harper, you did it. And with that being said, I'm gonna grab the red food coloring and let us start coloring this thing up. I just realized that sounded really weird. Also, I think I need more red food coloring, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I only actually have this much red food coloring. I'm not sure if you can see how much that is, but it's not a lot. So we're just gonna hope it's enough. Also, I'm a little worried that this is too old, but we're just gonna say, oh shoot, that went everywhere. That was an accident. Okay, now looks like there really is a bloodbath. It's a little bit worrying, but I'm just gonna say it's okay. Everything's okay. And hopefully this amount of red food coloring will make it red enough because I literally have no more. Okay, so it looks more pink, which makes me a little bit sad. I'm really gonna desperately just look in my, you know, cabinet. I really wanna make this redder. Okay, we have a little bit more right here, so where's some more? Ooh, it doesn't look very good though. This better not be old. Like this better, like, can red food coloring be rancid? Questions that I should know, but I do not know. Okay, so we have no more red food coloring. I thought I had enough. I was wrong. I do not have enough red food coloring. And if we want to make this thing purple or orange, we can. But when it comes to like making it more red, yeah, it's just gonna be pink. And we just have to deal with it. It looks kind of nasty. Like not really, but it just looks a little weird. But it's definitely, you know, not brown anymore. So yeah, it literally looks pink. It's literally pink now. I am so sad, but it's not, you know, brown anymore. So I'm gonna say it's okay. There's literally red food coloring, not everywhere, but there's like droplets just all around the table, which is, a little bit weird. But yeah, I have to just say this is all I can do, except if I want to make it purple, which I really don't want to make it purple. I mean, I think it would be really funny to make it purple. Do I want to make it purple? Like, be dramatic and stupid and make this thing purple. Have a lot of blue food coloring. So we could definitely make it like a really, really dark purple. I'm kind of leaning to that. I mean, it wouldn't be red velvet cake, but it could be purple velvet cake, which would be really, really cool. I'm gonna say, yeah, I wanna make it purple. Put some drama on this. I have nothing else better to do than to make things purple. So we have a lot of blue food coloring. So I'm gonna put a lot of blue food coloring here. And yeah, we're gonna make this purple. It's gonna look weird, I get it. But at the same time, what is a YouTube video about? If I've always followed the book and did everything perfectly, this channel would not be as fun as it is. And that's what I'm gonna tell myself while I freak out. So, with that being said, let's make this cake purple. Okay, so I overestimated the red and underestimated the blue. So this might be a blue velvet cake. Yeah, this just looks weird now. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. You know, blue is a pretty color. I mean, it does kind of look purple. I can't tell from this angle what you guys can see. It looks just blue to me with streaks of pink, but those streaks are very quickly going away and just turning into blue. So at this point, I have a blue velvet cake. So, yeah. I mean, blue is pretty, so I'm not gonna be really mad about that. I'm hoping that there's like no like real cultural connotations to the fact that this thing is supposed to be red, because I would feel really bad if I like just insulted a lot of people by making this blue. I don't think it is. I think it just be like, you know, style and cuteness. But if it is supposed to be at all culturally relevant and it's supposed to be red for a real symbolic reason, I do severely apologize. But with that being said, we have our blue cake batter. We are very happy about our blue cake batter, and it's also very heavy, so I'm gonna stop holding it, but more or less I'll get back to you when I'm ready to start making stiff peaks. Okay, so just disregard all of this. I clean up usually after I'm done with the whole process, which means that my cooking station usually gets worse and worse and worse as I continue cooking, but it will get cleaned soon, so if you do not like it, I do apologize. But with that being said, we have our egg whites right here. There's a little bit of egg yolk because I accidentally dropped one of the eggs and it broke, but it was worse before, so hopefully it's okay now. But that being said, I'm going to make some stiff peaks. It takes a while, so I'll probably fast forward the whole entire footage of this. And there we go, there's the stiff peaks. That took way shorter than I thought. It really got done in less than 3 minutes. Probably because it's a very small bowl and you know, I didn't dawdle. So I'm going to just grab some of the stiff peaks, and then, now I'm not very good at folding. I've never been good at folding. The delicate side of making any food, I have never been good at. I'm going to say it's okay. It's a little bit clumpy, you know, from the eggs. So I'm really trying to like fold it in, but like not deflate them. I'm a little worried that I deflated the batter, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I hope it's okay. But with that being said, it's silky and slightly thick. It's definitely thick. It looks a little bit silky, a little bit clumpy. Looks a little bit like that. I'm trying to do that without like pouring the whole thing out onto the table, because then I would really start crying. So with that being said, I'm going to divide this into cake pans. So I'm pretty sure these are 9-inch pans. If they're not, I will cry again. Also, they are okay. They have a little bit of like rust spots, but like I've cleaned them, so the rust isn't there anymore. It's just like whatever. They're really old and I'm too lazy to get them. I put some parchment paper on the bottom. I think it's what they said. If they want parchment paper everywhere, how did you do that with pans? But with that being said, going to pour this in and then pour this in. There is a little bit of room left in each pan, so I think it's gonna be okay. You know, it will rise, but it won't overflow. I really hope you guys could see this. I did not. I forgot to re-angle the camera, so I apologize. So I'm gonna put this in the oven for like 32 minutes or so. So with that being said, I'll see you next clip. Okay, so after a long time of baking, this one in particular took a while to get done. We are done with our beautiful blue velvet cakes. My mom calls them the Smurf cakes, so we're gonna call them Smurf cakes from now on, just in honor of that. But more or less, I'm gonna let these cool off quite a bit. They have to be fully cooled before we can actually even ice the thing. So far, very excited. They smell absolutely incredible. So I'm very, very, let's say, positive, excited to get, I already use that word. What kind of word am I want to use right now? Hopeful that these will be turning out to be very, very good cakes. But that being said, yeah, let's go on. Okay, so the cakes are cooling down quite nicely, so we're gonna start making the actual icing right now. So first things first is the butter. And then we have the cream cheese. Come on. Hopefully that looks better on camera. Just put the aperture, not aperture. I'm not sure what it's called, but more or less it's less like bright white for some reason everywhere. So let us begin by starting to mix up this cream cheese and butter. So I'm gonna say that's probably well mixed enough. So now I'm going to get the extra sugar and the vanilla extract. Go, and then I'm not sure if we're supposed to do it in one huge clump. I bet not, but we're gonna say it's okay, and then hope nothing falls apart too much. I think that we are done. I feel like this is pretty great. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It looks so nice. I'm not sure if you can see how smooth it is, but it's so smooth and so like just glossy, and it looks so good. So I am so proud of myself. I can't remember if I've ever made cream cheese icing on this channel before, but it's been a very long time, no matter what, and I am beyond proud of myself. So I think that I am done with the cream cheese icing. So I'm just going to prep the table to go through the last couple of steps, which is of course assembling this whole thing together. Very excited, very hopeful. I have taken off the cakes. They look pretty great. They're a little bit warm still, but they're not very warm. I'm gonna begin because yeah, I feel like that's a really, really good idea. I'm a very impatient person, so yeah, this is usually my downfalls. Okay, so in this clip, or the speeded up clip, it's just like me beginning to, try to ice this cake. Now, there were a lot of issues with these clips, so I decided to just do a voiceover, and I hope that this works out better than the actual clips, because there was a lot of sound in the background in this, and I just started to just really deteriorate, just not like mentally, but I just started getting really upset really quickly in these clips, and I felt like, yeah, I don't want to show that on the internet, so instead I'm just gonna do this instead. But the big thing to know about is the fact that these cakes were still warm. They weren't piping hot, they were just a little bit warm, but even just them being a little warm, they started melting the icing, and really melting the icing. And because of the fact that I was so tired, I had already been working on this for I'm gonna say solid 3 hours at this point, plus just the fact that I just couldn't really see the full cake. I didn't step back at all looking at it. I didn't know what was happening, so I began to just try to scrape off icing and try to fix it, not really realizing that the real issue was the fact that the icing was literally just completely melting away. Not melting away, but melting off the cake, and then the cake began to slide, and it became just a whole issue. And again, I was just more or less processing this with barely any sleep, and I was tired. And also those clips when you see me take off the icing from the table is clean. It's kind of nasty still, but the table is clean, and you can probably see right now the cakes began to slant, and this is when I was starting to really freak out. And then my cat was meowing, and my dog was barking, so it was all in all just a really bad experience. But the issue really became the fact that I started scraping off all the icing from the cake, because I wasn't realizing exactly what was happening, and that really like affected how the taste of the cake was. As a whole, it was just really, really bad, and I was beginning to just like totally hate what was happening. Thankfully, my mom did, come along. She's gonna help out. We're about to put the cake in the refrigerator in like 1 second, and the refrigerator did help a lot. It really just set everything, but as a whole, it was just a really bad experience. Okay, so we are back. We got it into the refrigerator, it cooled off. I think I chilled this for like an hour or so. Let's see how this actually is. So, I'm going to just cut into it. I do have hope this will taste really good. It might not be the prettiest, but I'm hoping it will be really good tasting. There we go. So far, so good. You can see the cake, it's very moist, it's not dry at all. Okay, so here we are. We have the cake. It looks pretty nice. I'm very excited to have it. So let us try it out. So, first things first, just cake by itself. Okay, so I've had a slice, so let's talk about it. So, number one, this is, of course, like many things, like a very subjective review in the fact that, like, I don't really like it because of how I like cakes. It's very, like, light and airy. There's a little tang from, I think, like, the buttermilk and, like, other things in it. Like, it's just a little tangy. Not bad, but just there's a little bit of tanginess. It's not very sweet at all. There's, like, no chocolatey taste. It's good. Like, it's very, like, moist and, like, it's, like, it's not all, like, dry or whatever, but it's not very sweet either. And, like, a lot of people like that. Like, my mom really, really likes this cake, but I don't. I also feel like the cream cheese icing does make, help it become sweeter, and because the icing all fell out more or less, when it was like melting, I like scraped a lot of it out. That definitely made it worse. I feel like, yes, like you do need all that cream cheese icing. I didn't really like it. I also feel like I'm not in a very good mood right now because I am feeling like not very well when it comes to like, I'm exhausted, I'm very like busy today, and like this whole video took almost 5 hours out of my day, so it's definitely like kind of stressful on that level too. So again, like this review is incredibly subjective of just like how I'm feeling right now and like how I like cakes. I'm usually somebody who likes really, really sweet cakes, so that's also an issue. And like as a whole, like it's good, and if you are somebody who likes more, savory cakes, not savory cakes, but if you don't like sweeter cakes, you'll probably really, really like this. It does taste like a red velvet cake, even though it's blue, which is also kind of weird. So when it comes to my review, 1 out of 10, 1 being it's absolutely terrible, can't even finish it, 10 being it's phenomenal, it blew me away, I love it, I'll make it again and again and again, I'll give this a solid 7. On my opinion, I think in reality it's probably more an 8.5 or an 8 for people who just like, less sweet cakes, which is most people like, less sweeter cakes, they don't like over sweetened cakes. So I do feel like as like, for the public, this is definitely a good recipe, but for me, I just don't really like it. And again, that's just subjective, and I bet like I like it way more, some other day when I'm not stressing out about multiple things. But with that being said, that is really all for today. So of course, the recipe that I did use will be in the description down below. So if you want to check it out there. It was a really, really good recipe. It just, the cake itself was not something that I wanted right now, but it was really, really good. With that being said, of course, if you like the video, click like. If you want to see more from what, just subscribe. I hope you have a nice day. I will see you next time, and as usual, goodbye.